Bike has a dead battery. I'm going to go over really quick how to jump a motorcycle with a car, because it's a pretty common question that I get. Basically, on this one, I've already loosened up all of the bolts that hold the seat down. This is a 94 CBR 600 F2. The thing I don't like about how they made this one is the seat bolts down. There's not a latch for it, so to get the seat off, see there's those bolt holes there and there. They actually bolt in there and there, and you can see, like, so you have to take off these side. There's other guys on YouTube that have they made a little custom release mechanism that bolts in there and there, which I've thought about doing, but never really had the time to. Anyway, I've already loosened this. Oh, the bolts that go through here on mine, I don't know if they were changed out from what they were originally, but it's 6mm hex head, and these that go here on top of the battery cover are 5mm hex head, and then this is 10. The hex head is also like Allen key. You can call it an Allen key too, or hex key. And these are regular. This is a regular 10mm bolt that goes through. I've already loosened it up because I had to jump it. I tried to give it a rolling start earlier, and it wouldn't. The battery was too dead. So basically, this square thing is the battery. That square thing is the car battery. As you can see, turn the key. I had the switch stop, but it was still too weak to start. Anyway, so that's what it does. You hear you're trying to start it. It's slowly. You hear the starter slowly winding down, getting weaker and weaker. So I think these are 8-gauge or 10-gauge jumper cables. You don't really need a very high gauge for 6-gauge. 6-gauge is good. You don't need a very high gauge for doing motorcycle stuff. And if you're high gauge is that the numbers go up as the wire gets smaller on wire gauge size. So when you have so this is 6-gauge. If it were 8-gauge, it would be a little bit smaller. 10-gauge would be smaller than that. 12 would be smaller than that. As the numbers go down, so 4-gauge, 2-gauge, and 0-gauge, the numbers get fatter and fatter. So basically, you heard how the starter was weak earlier. Now I just connected the jumper cables. That truck, my nice rugged Toyota truck, is not running. I have it off because that has a stronger charging system than this bike does. So just to be safe, you don't have to have the truck on. You can have the truck off, or car, or whatever. Starts up. So if you want to test it to see whether you have a bad battery and that's why it died, or if you have like on this one, that's the stator cover. I believe that's the stator cover. It's usually on the left side. You have to look it up to verify me if you have a CBR, 94 CBR. But anyway, people will warn you about this. Like, you don't jump a motorcycle with a car, but don't listen to them because it works fine. Just leave the car off. Leave the car or truck off, whatever you jump it with. And make sure the car has a 12-volt battery. The diesels have 24 volts. Some of them have 24 volts. So don't try to jump a motorcycle with a diesel truck or whatever. 12-volt car battery, 12-volt motorcycle battery. So they're both 12 volts. It works fine. Just leave the car off. An older mechanic told me a long time ago that even with cars, if you jump a dead car with a running car, the one with the stronger charging system is the one that's gonna go out. So in this case, it would be bad on my truck. If that's true, it would be bad on my truck to jump the motorcycle with the truck on. But that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of weird. I would think the motorcycle would be damaged before the truck does. But anyway, works fine. I'll even jump it again. It's even better. So at this point, if you want to check to see if it's the battery, sorry, I got sidetracked earlier. If you want to check to see if it's the battery or the stator, get a voltmeter. And when this battery has like if you want to put a charger on it to make sure it's fully charged after you get it back to your house or after you jump it, charge the battery all the way, start the bike, and then when you put a voltmeter on it, which I didn't even bring mine down, but if you put a voltmeter on it, put it on 20 volts DC or something around, like it'll say VDC, or it might have a little logo, like a little logo on it that says it's not the one with the wave. Wave is AC, so it's not the one that looks like a wave. It's the one that it'll have like a bunch of dots that shows that shows like a direct current. But switch it over to 20 volts DC, and then put the two leads, red lead to the positive, black lead to the negative, or anywhere on the frame, because anywhere on the frame is also going to be connected to the black. When the bike is off, you should see 12.5 volts, even though it's a 12 volt battery. You should see 12.5 volts, and when it's running, you should see anywhere around 13.5 or up, because it needs a higher voltage to charge the battery successfully. If your voltage is lower than 13.5, or if it's lower than 13, then you will want to change out your stator. But if you check it on a weak battery or a battery that's almost dead, then you are going to get a lower voltage whenever it's running. But anyway, so that's it. I'll even start it again. It's good. So that's that. This one, I either have to charge the battery. I'm just going to see if the battery takes a charge. If not, I'm going to get another battery. But after I jumped it and I rode it back to where I jumped it from, it started right back up. So that means the stator is charging the battery. So thanks for watching, and subscribe for more stuff.